朋友，大家好，欢迎回来。到了今天的嘉宾访谈环节，有留意新闻的观众朋友，可能最近已经注意到，每天的新闻当中呢，我们都会谈及到这个又有新的一位候选人加入到了安省自由党党魁的选战。那么到目前为止呢，已经有5位候选人了。今天我们就非常荣幸请到了其中的一位。We're honored to have one of the candidates for Ontario Liberal Party leadership, Mr. Charles Sousa. You got a Chinese name?
Yes, I do.
Sousa. Welcome to our show. Is this your first time here?
It's my first time on your show, and I'm very pleased to be here.
And your colleague, Michael Chen, he comes here almost once a week.
He's a very good man.
But probably our audience is not that familiar with you.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I've been in politics now for 5 years. I'm in my second term. I was previously Minister of Labor last year, and more recently, Minister of Citizenship and Immigration, also Minister responsible for the Pan Am and Pan American Games. Prior to that, I was 20 years in the banking sector with Royal Bank of Canada, and I had a small company when I first graduated from university. So 25 years in the private sector, 5 years now in government.
You made it official on last Saturday that you're going to compete for the Ontario Liberal Party leadership.
That's correct.
Why do you want to be the leader?
Well,
it's a tough job.
It is, and I'm very excited about the opportunity of being progressive and moving our government and our province forward, maybe setting a little new direction to ensure that we concentrate on our economic issues, but enabling us to afford the things that matter to us in our public service. But as someone who is a product of immigration, as you may appreciate, many of us came from somewhere else, and my father came here in 1953 with the hope to enable all of us to have more opportunity and to learn and to give back. And those are some of the things that has been instilled upon me, and that's why I'm trying to make a difference for my children as well going forward.
And you are one of the 5 candidates, and
Yes.
there's one more coming up tomorrow.
So it would seem.
It's quite crowded. Do you think so?
You know, I'm very excited about the fact that there's so many who are garnering for the position, because what's going to allow us to have a collision of ideas, enable us to elevate some of the things that matter to people, have a broader discussion and a debate on the issues that are before us. And we have a lot of good people competing in this race. So I'm very excited and encouraged by the demand of people wanting to be part of this. Because what's important here is, in the end of this race, we need to give the public the opportunity to see the distinctness between us and the opposition. You'll find that those that are running in this race are very concerned about ensuring that we stay on course to reduce our debt and be competitive, while also being there to help those most vulnerable, so being fiscally responsible, socially and environmentally conscious. Unlike the opposition, which are taking very extreme positions which can be very divisive and regressive and hurt our economy, we want to make certain that we proceed in a very tangible and a progressive manner.
Do you mind comparing with other candidates?
Oh, I think, as I said, the other candidates are very good people.
Okay. Far as I know, you said that you worked for RBC for more than 20 years.
More than 20 years, yes.
You must be a very experienced and excellent business person. But compared to other candidates, you've only got, you said, 5 years in the political field.
That's true. I mean, I've had a lot of private sector experience, certainly in the financial services sector. That's one of the reasons my platform and the things that I've come forward with are more economic focused. But also keep in mind that when I was in the bank, while I dealt with a lot of businesses and commercial clients, I also brought the bank's first public accountability statement, and I worked very closely with our corporate social responsibility policy. So it's enabling me to better appreciate what matters in terms of the corporation's responsibilities in society. And it's a partnership. Government doesn't directly produce jobs. Businesses produce jobs. Entrepreneurs produce jobs. So we need to work more closely in enabling us to have that success. And what I'm bringing forward is initiatives to create more jobs for the long term, to continue to invest in public infrastructure, to negotiate with other jurisdictions around the world. You have a huge, vibrant, strong Chinese community in Ontario. And I know they do extremely well when it comes to business, and there's a lot of trade missions that we do to China. This is what we need to do more of, so that we can promote more trade and more investments in the north and in the rural communities who are untapped and full of potential. There's opportunities there that we can take a hold of to create more jobs and in the end, improve our economy and reduce our debt. That's what this is about.
So will you say that economy-related issue solving is your strongest point to win this election?
I would say that my strongest point would be to be fiscally responsible.
Okay.
So that we can be conscious of where we need to be for our society. And I would say that it's all about jobs. The decisions we make have to create jobs. I just recently came out with an immigration strategy. The first immigration strategy for the province of Ontario ever. We've always relied on the federal government to determine who should be coming to Ontario.
Yes.
Well, I think now is about time that Ontario takes a little bit more of a position as to who we want to attract and how do we want to support them. Whereas other provinces have had more devolution powers, more opportunities to do that. Ontario, being the largest province in Canada, the greatest provider of jobs and manufacturing, we have a shortfall, a need for more skilled immigrants to this province. That's why I came up with a strategy to do just that. And why? Because we want to create jobs, we want to create investments. Many members of the Asian and Chinese community are anxious to invest in Ontario. I want to make certain that we provide a means by which to attract and to enable them to succeed. When newcomers succeed, when people in Ontario succeed, Canada succeeds. It's essential that we be a big partner in this process.
Definitely. So what is the biggest challenge you see that the Ontario is facing right now?
Well, one of the things that I'm very keen on resolving is gridlock, transportation. The public transit in the Golden Horseshoe, the Greater Toronto Area and beyond, is not really coordinated. We've talked about Metrolinx for some time. We know the problems that exist with TTC. And we know the politics that seem to hamper this opportunity to consolidate. So one of the issues I would like to see is just take all the transit systems around the area, consolidate them into one regional transit system to facilitate transportation right across without borders. So that, and I've done that recently between Air Rail Link between the Union Station and the airport for the Pan Am Games, of which I was responsible. We've done a number of projects by which, in cooperation with the private sector, that has been tremendously successful. Do you know that in Ontario we've had over 50 projects over the last number of years, over $4 billion. We've saved over $2 billion in those initiatives because of our partnerships that we've done with private sector. These are the kind of things I want to do with our regional transit systems so that we can improve our gridlock.
And is there any policies made by Ontario Liberal Party that you are not in favor of? Because Mr. Kennedy, he said today that he is not very supportive of the Bill 115.
Yes.
So is there any policy that you...
So we have, and I was Minister of Labor last year, and I was always, and I believe in the bargaining process, and that the best deals are those that are done and negotiated upon. And much of those deals that were done with the other unions were used as a template for that bill. Keep in mind that what was essential in that bill for me was September 1. If a deal wasn't struck or if the bill hadn't passed on September 1, many people would be getting raises, and that would have a huge economic impact. And I know the teachers, those that I speak to from all the unions, agree to a wage freeze, just as the MPPs agree to a 5-year freeze, and we've had management agree to a 3-year freeze. We're asking all of the broader public sector to agree to a 2-year freeze. They've come to that acknowledgement. And it's unfortunate that we've had to have that bill. But what I do see forward now is ongoing negotiations to resolve it. And I know there's a minor dispute, actually not very minor. We need to resolve it. We need to sit down and negotiate the deal. By the time Gerard Kennedy becomes, or by the time this race is over, much of those resolutions will have occurred.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sousa.
Thank you
Take
so
your
much.
time and sharing your platform with the audience.
I appreciate that.
And good luck for your Ontario Liberal Party leadership election in the future.
Appreciate the
Thank
time
you.
to have you
我
here.
们非常荣幸今天请到了 Mr. Sousa 给我们大概介绍一下他自己，介绍一下他竞选这个安省自由党党魁的一些自己的这个政纲，还有理解的一些方面的一些比如计划。非常感谢他，也希望他在这个安省自由党党魁的这个竞选当中能够取得好成绩。我们今天访谈到这里，先暂时告一段落，稍事休息一下，广告回来我们再会。